Hey guys, good morning. Welcome back to my channel. So I just reached 100 subscribers, so I wanted to do a little video for you guys because I feel like I haven't been making my videos as consistently, but I'm a working girl now, hence the bra. Okay, you know I don't ever wear bras, but I gotta wear them now because I work and I have to be professional. So I'm probably not gonna wear this today anyway. I'm just trying to, you know, get ready. But yeah, I do work today, so I gotta make this quick. But I just wanted to tell you guys a little story and get ready at the same time. So this story time is about my DUTTY roommate. Since then I have moved out and I live in a new place and I love it. But and I'm gonna do a tour soon as well. But yeah, before I lived in the dorms on FAMU's campus, and they were like the apartment style dorms, and I had to share a room, like physically share a room with another girl. And you know, I have had to share rooms before, but I don't know, it was a long time ago and I've grown out of that, so it was kind of hard to adjust at first. But you know, I'm a very nice person, nice girl, so you know, it wasn't that hard to get along. It was just as far as me feeling comfortable. But let me just get into it. So the girl who I roomed with, I actually had come in contact with her over the summer, and she was the girl who bought a storage unit, and I was going to share it with her and this other young lady that I had actually met in real life. So I didn't know who she was or anything like that. I just knew her name because her name was on the rent for the storage unit. So when I moved into my apartment, usually they have like everybody's name on the door, and her name was on the door and so was mine. I remembered her name. I was like, oh my gosh, I know that girl. So let's think of a name for her. We're gonna call her Spice, like Spice from Love and Hip Hop. That's what we're gonna call her because she was Jamaican. And that's neither a compliment nor a diss. It just is what it is. But anyway, yeah, so she her name was on there, and I was like, oh my gosh, I know this girl. When I first moved in, she wasn't there, but I was the first person there. I saw her name on the door, so I knew that was going to be my roommate, but nobody had moved in yet. When I went in there, there was nothing in there, just me. So I started putting my stuff away, but I wasn't ready to move in yet because I was, you know, staying at my boyfriend's house some days, and I just wasn't ready to let go of that yet. And oops, and I had put some of my stuff in the drawer that we had, and I had started making my bed. Now mind you all, there was a drawer that had there was a dresser that had 6 drawers in it, and there was only 1 in the room. So I assumed that's what we were supposed to share, so I only put mine in 3 so she could have the other 3. So like I said, nobody had moved in at this point, and I was the first person to move in. So after I left and I come back to, you know, move in more of my stuff, I see that my roommate has started to move in. And I go look in the dresser, and well, actually I'm lying because I didn't put my stuff in the dresser, because I come back and sis has all her stuff in all 6 of the dressers, and I'm just like, okay. So I know that you know that you have a roommate, and I know you can see that there's clearly only 1. So where do you think I'm about to put my clothes at? Like, we have closets, but I mean, still, where am I about to put my clothes at? So I noticed that, and I was just like, okay. And we finally meet, and when we do meet, she's really cool. She's nice and everything, and we talk, and I asked her about the clothes, and I was like, oh, can you know, there's only 1 in here, so can you like take out some for maybe 3 of them, and we could just share it? And she does, and everything's kosher. But you know, along with our introductions, Spice tells me that something like really tragic happened to her. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how I would act if what happened to her happened to me. But she let me know that something really tragic happened to her, and it's still kind of fresh, and she's still trying to get over it. And you know, sometimes she gets really moody and stuff like that. So if she seems like that, you know, she was telling me to not take it personally, and it's probably because of what happened. And, you know, okay, I can understand that. Everything's cool. But, you know, time goes on, and maybe like a week or two, and she's not having any problems like that where I feel like she's being mad, rude, or anything. You know, I hadn't had dishes at the time, so she let me use her pots, and I would wash them right away and put them up. So everything was cool as far as just getting along. You know, I wouldn't say we were like the best friends in the world, but we would do, like, when we would be in the room, we would talk. You know, she would have a TV. I had a TV, and she did as well, but she would leave her TV on most of the time. I'm not an avid TV watcher, so it didn't bother me. But I mean, we're not going to watch TV at the same time because it's going to be two noises. Like, nobody's going to be able to hear anything. So she would leave her TV on for the most part, and we would like watch whatever she had on there and talk about it and things of the sort. But there was a thing that she always did that just pushed my buttons. Now, you all let me know if I'm being dramatic. Okay, was I being too extra? Like, was it that not that serious? But hold on, I gotta do this. I can't talk while I do this. But yeah, so she used to do this thing that really used to irk me. Like, I would be in my room and she wouldn't be there or something. Like, I would come home from class and I would have the lights off, you know, I'm chilling or I'm asleep. I'm trying to go to sleep. And like I said, she would leave her TV on like all the time, and I didn't want to touch her stuff, so I wouldn't turn it off. But I don't like to sleep with the TV on. Like, how can you sleep with all that noise and the lights and stuff? Like, it's just not cute for me. So she would come and she wouldn't even ask if she could turn on the light or something like that. She would just flick the lights on. And I'm just like, could you at least ask? You know, I'm going to say yes. But you doing that and just totally disregarding what I have going on right now is really rude to me. And I would never do that to you. And I never did. There were several times where I would come in and she had the lights off and I needed to use the light. I was like, hey, do you mind if I turn the light on real quick? Like, I just got to do something. I can't see. Whatever. So I just believe in asking people things. You know, you might want to do it anyway, but shit, at least you show some concern for their feelings and, you know, how they want to live. So she would always do that. And at first I didn't say anything, you know, I would just like grumble to myself. I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, here she goes again with that. But amongst that, her having the TV on like every night was really annoying. And I don't know if she was afraid of the dark or something, but not only would she have her TV on, but she had this like little disco ball thing, Christmas lights, and like a little sign, light up sign all around her bed. And she would have those on all day and all night. And I'm just like, how can you sleep with that? And she would have her TV turned towards the bed. Both our beds were the same way because the way the room was set up, there was really no other way to move them and have like adequate space. And she would have them all pointing right at her. I'm like, are you afraid of the dark or something? Like, I mean, if you are, it's okay, but come on now. Like, how can you even sleep like that? And I can't even sleep, and I'm not even directly in front of it, you know? Eventually, I would fall asleep in the night, but it would take me way longer because I didn't have, like, you know, a peaceful sleeping area. It was like noise and TV and explosions and lights flashing all the damn time. But anyway, so yeah, so one day in particular where I just could not take it anymore with her, she it was at night. At this point, it had gotten around close to 1 o'clock. It was like 12:40, 1 o'clock, right? And I was working at Publix still at the time, and you know, I still don't have a car, so I had to take the bus, and I would have to wake up early to catch the bus to make sure I got there on time. Also, I would have to walk buku long to even get to the bus stop. So I asked her, she was in the mirror doing her hair. That's the other thing, she would like want to do her hair every single day. She would put a new weave in, and I'm like, girl, that's why you're bald headed, because you keep messing with your hair every 5 seconds, you know? But sorry, this takes some concentration. But yeah, so she was doing her hair again, doing another like hairstyle. And mind you guys too, we have a whole bathroom with a nice big mirror, so she could have been doing her hair in there, which is what I would have done, but you know, we all think differently. So she doing her hair, and it's almost 1 o'clock now, and I'm like, hey, can we turn off the lights, because I really need to go to bed. Like, I have to wake up really early in the morning. Like, do you mind? And she just looks at me, she's like, well, I'm using it, so to me, that was already mad rude, because I'm like, I'm telling you I have something important to do. You're not doing anything that's that important, and you have a whole bathroom with a nice big mirror that you could do it in, right? But I didn't say that to her. I wanted to be diplomatic. You know, I have to share a room with this girl. There's no point in, like, you know, getting nasty and fighting, because we have to live together. And I'm just like, okay, well, do you want to use my lamp or something? Because I have to go to bed. Like, you know, I already let you keep the TV on and do all this other crap and have a damn circus over your bed. But the least you can do is, like, go in another room and do it, or turn off the light. Talking about you need it. Okay, well, I need to go to sleep. How about that? So, yeah, she took the lamp, and that was that. But it really didn't sit on my heart well. I was just like, that was so rude. Like, you know, I'm so nice to her, and I don't complain about anything. And all I ask is that, you know, can we turn off the lights by a decent time? It's not like it was 9 o'clock at night or something. It was literally 12:40, almost 1 o'clock in the morning. So, yeah. So the next morning when I wake up early to go catch the bus, I decided that I was going to write her a note, because she was still asleep. I always woke up before her as well, because all my classes were like really early in the morning. So I wrote her a note, and when I tell you all, this note was so nice. Like, I told her how I felt. I said it like it was almost like I wrote the note off of a how to be diplomatic video or something, you know. I told her what my issue was. I told her that I didn't really appreciate that she had such an attitude when I asked her that. And, you know, if she didn't have an attitude, it was my bad for interpreting it like that. But I felt like she was fighting me on something where I was being as diplomatic as possible, and I was being fair, and it's only fair to me that you give me, you know, that courtesy. Like, okay, sheesh, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, can I go to sleep, you know? And I told her she could text me about it, call me, or wait till I come home from work and we could talk about it in person. And she could also let me know if there's some things that I'm doing that she doesn't like as well, so we can get it all out on the table, and, you know, make sure we have an enjoyable living experience, you know. So she texted me like a few hours later. She's like, hey Kayla, thank you for the note. I read it, and, you know, I don't even remember exactly what she said. Like, if I had the messages, I would show you. But basically, she was trying to say that, you know, she'll try to finish her work on time or before then or whatever. Which is the thing to me. I'm like, you're not even seeing what's the issue, because you weren't even doing any work. You were just doing your hair. Like, that's not that important. Like, I know, you know, that's important to Black women and everything. It's important to me. But it's nothing to lose sleep over in reality. It's not like you were doing an assignment that was due, which I think trumps doing your hair. So anyway, yeah, so she was like, I'll try to finish my work earlier, but also I feel like you've done that to me as well. Like, I would come in there and turn on the lights. Yeah, because I told her that I had an issue with that as well. And she said I would come in there and turn on the lights when she was using it or whatever the heck, right? And I'm just like, okay, see, now you're making stuff up, sis, because I purposely did not do that to you because I don't like it done to me. So don't start making stuff up. So of course I told her that, and she got a little defensive, and she was like, Kayla, like, I'm not trying to argue with you, I'm trying to compromise. And I'm like, okay, but you trying to compromise is not you trying to say that I've done it to you when it's not true. That's not compromise. But basically, at the end of the situation, at the end of the text messages, she said that, you know, she believes that I can do whatever I want with the lights because I paid my money just like she does. So if I need the lights in the morning, to just turn them on and not worry about her, because she's gonna do the same. And I was not satisfied with that, because basically she was trying to give me permission to do it to her so she could continue doing it to me, and that's not what I wanted. I don't want you to do it at all, okay? Because I don't like that. It's not that hard for you to just say, hey, can I turn on the light really quick? Like, especially if I've been in there all day and you're just coming home. Like, I feel like that's only courteous. But again, if I'm tripping, let me know, okay? And then she said, as far as the things that she didn't like that I did, she didn't like that I had left. She said I left like some hairs from doing braids or something, and she said that I also would leave my drawer a little open, like with my clothes, and that was because we still were sharing that one drawer, and she had 3 and I had 3, and I'm just like, well, okay, that's fair enough. But at the same time, the reason why I couldn't close it all is because I had to fit so many of my clothes only into 3 drawers. So what do you expect, But I took it with a grain of salt. I was just like, okay, I get you give me my chance to explain to you what I didn't like, so I'll let you let me know that. But I still felt like it was a little awkward and a little feisty of a conversation between us, which, if you confront anybody, it's probably going to end up like that. But I was still trying to be very diplomatic because, like I said, I have to live with this girl. So I wanted to make sure that even after we had this little confrontation, it wasn't awkward when we go back to the room. So when we go back and I see her later on in the day, I'm just like, hey, I'm still trying to talk to her about things, stuff I'll see on the TV, stuff like that. And she used to like to watch this Food Network show where, like, the guy, he goes and travels around and eats all the, like, really local foods from different countries. So one episode came on with Jamaica. So I've never told her about my ethnicity, my background. My father's Jamaican and my mom's Panamanian. I never told her anything about that because she never asked, and there was really no reason to tell her. But she is Jamaican, and I heard her mom like on the phone and stuff, and she has an accent and everything. So I feel like she thought I didn't know. But they were talking about Jamaican desserts, and I was just making conversation. I was like, oh my god, like I like every dessert except for the like fruit cake or the black cake, right? And she was just like, don't you mean wine cake? And I'm like, I mean, whatever. Like, and clearly people call everything different things. I never heard it called wine cake. It was either like, the black Jamaican cakes that have rum, and sometimes they have like the little like candy looking fruit pieces in it. Like, to me, that's either fruit cake, black cake, or the rum cake, right? I've never heard anybody call it wine cake. But if your family calls it that, go ahead, like, great. But I guess she just felt like she was the only person who knew anything about anything. I don't know what her problem was. Because after I wrote her that note, everything was just kind of like real snappy and real like looking at me like that. So, after that incident, she still was acting like really weird. So I thought, okay, maybe it's because of the thing, like the tragic situation that happened to her. She did say she would act moody, but it really didn't make any sense, because one day I would come home and I'm just like, hey, and she's just like, and I'm like, okay. So at first I thought maybe she didn't hear me. I wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt. I was like, okay, she didn't hear me, whatever. And the next day I come home, I try it again. I'm like, hey, what's up? Good morning. Again. She just, like, this time it was a louder grunting sound. So after the point where I gave her the note and everything, she would just not speak to me at all. So I'm not going to keep trying to say hi to you and stuff, and you keep ignoring me, like, and I sit here looking like a dummy. So after that, I just stopped talking to her. I was like, okay, clearly she doesn't want to talk to me, so I'm going to just stop talking to her. So you can imagine how awkward that is, living and having to sleep in the same room with somebody, but you guys don't talk. So, and I didn't feel like I could confront her about anything else at that point, because since we were already not talking to each other, it was probably going to seem like I was trying to comfort her neck and be an even bigger problem. So, the months go by. Like, we literally go months without talking to each other. But she did like one of the other girls that lived in the apartment. It was 3 rooms and 2 girls to each room. So the girl in the next room over, she took a liking to her, and them 2 were friends, and they would chit-chat all the time. So that's how I knew it wasn't no issue with her having like these emotional problems, because she was being nice and cool to everybody else, but acting like she couldn't say a word to me. And I really don't know what I did to this girl. Like, I was nothing but nice to her. And I think, I forgot to mention, she did tell me that she had wanted to start a YouTube channel, and I told her I had been wanting to start one as well. I don't know if she started it because, like I said, we never got into each other's like social lives that much. So I don't really know if she started it at this point, but around that time I know she didn't, but I did start. So I don't know if she was jealous or something. Like, I don't know what it was. But what was there to be jealous of? Because I have no subscribers. I mean, I have 100 now, and I'm really happy. Thanks, guys. But at the time, it wasn't like I was doing nothing that big, you know? So, you know, time goes on. She's still acting stank. And I'm just like, oh, my gosh, I can't wait to move out of this apartment because it's so awkward. Like, I can't even be myself because this girl's in here doing what she does. And clearly she said forget you about the light thing. She was still doing it, coming in the room, turning on the lights when I'm trying to sleep and stuff, but we're not talking, so I just let it go at that point. So one day where things really got irritating for me, and I'm just like, what is this girl's problem? Like, what did I do to her? So I come home, and in the main area where the kitchen was, I put my microwave in there because, like I said, I was like one of the first people to move in, and there was no microwave there, so I put mine there. And I had told her that that was my microwave, and I just asked that, I was like, oh, obviously all you guys can use it because I put it out here, but, you know, let's just all try to keep it clean so it doesn't stink, and, you know, when you put your food in there, cover it. So she knew it was my microwave, and you'll see why I keep reiterating that. She knew it was my microwave, so let's just get that out the window. And so I come home one day from my early classes, and I go to put something in the microwave, and there's this bowl with like some half-eaten fish sticks and like some little vegetables. I don't even know if they were fish sticks. I don't know what they were, but there were some stick-looking frozen out the box food things, right? So those were in my microwave, and I was just like, okay, maybe somebody just forgot it in there. So I took it out and I put it on top of my microwave, warm up my food, go about my business. So and I think I put the food in the fridge, because, you know, to be polite as I am. I'm such a polite person, and I feel like nobody else is as polite as I am. So I feel like I get mad, irritated with things that people think are normal. Like, what is normal about that? So I put it in the fridge. So I go back to class, and I come home later, and I'm about to warm up something else to eat, and there is the same exact bowl of fish sticks and little vegetables and stuff. And I'm just like, okay. So I take it out again, and I put it back in the fridge, because for one, I already took it out, put it back in the fridge for you to be polite, but now you put it back in, it's uncovered, it's old food. Why are you leaving it in my microwave? And they already weren't cleaning it, so I was the only one cleaning anything, really. So it was starting to stink, and I'm just like, why are you doing this? I didn't know who it was at first, but I figured it was her. And at that point, she had come back to the house, and she came in the room. I had already warmed up my food, and I sat in the room, and she went back out and put the food back inside the microwave. So that's how I knew it was her, because I had heard all of that happening. But of course, like I said, we weren't talking, so she wasn't even gonna say anything to me like, oh, hey, you know, I'm putting that in there for a certain reason, or whatever it is. So yeah, so I'm just like, I know this girl. So she leaves, and I go check to see if it's in there, and it's still in there. So I take it back out again, and I put it back in there. So I'm just like, okay, clearly if she puts it back in there a third time, she's being very petty, because clearly I don't want it in there, and you keep putting it back in there. And it's not like you're saying to me, oh, hey, don't move it because I put it in there for a certain reason or something like that. And even if you did, it's my microwave, so I can tell you to take the crap out. So so yeah, I put it back, and I come back from class again, and of course, there it is again. But she wasn't there, so at that point, I was angry, and I was like, okay. And I was talking on the phone. I think I called my boyfriend, or my friend Ariel, and I was just like, this girl is ridiculous. Like, first is all this foolishness. She's mad annoying. She won't talk to me, and now she's doing this and keeps putting the thinking half-eaten fish sticks back in my microwave. Like, what is with you and these fish sticks, sis? Like, they don't look that good, so I don't know what you're trying to save them for. And they were like literally half-eaten, so it was like 1 and 1.5, and they were like nibbled on. It looked so gross. So yeah, so at that point I just was like, okay, we're done. So I took it out, and I just left it on the counter, because clearly she doesn't want it in the fridge. And I unplugged my microwave, and I took it in my room, and I put it under my bed. So I was just like, you know what, nobody's gonna have a microwave them since Sis wants to play funny. After that, I went to the office and I was like, okay, we need to talk to the RA because clearly she has an issue with me and I don't know what it is, and I don't want it to turn into a fight or something because I didn't know how she was going to react to me removing the microwave. But nothing happened, obviously. But I went to talk to my RA and I told him everything from the beginning, you know, with her in the light situation, her acting like she doesn't want to speak to me. And I told him, I'm like, I don't know what I did to her because I'm so nice to this girl. I don't do anything to bother her. I did use her pots and pans, but I had her permission and I washed them right after I used them. So I really don't understand. And then I feel like she could have gave me the same courtesy and, you know, not be putting half-eaten food in my microwave. Whereas, you know, I did right by her stuff and I cleaned it right after, you know. So I was just really confused, and he was like, okay, well, I'll go talk to her and see if we want to have a meeting or whatever. And I was like, yeah, I'm fine with the meeting, but, you know, I don't know how she feels. So he goes and talks to her, and he messages me the next day. I was like, hey, did you talk to her? And he was like, yeah, I did. And he felt like it didn't really need to have a meeting because he felt like she wasn't going to say anything. Because in their meeting, she said that she doesn't have a problem with me and that she didn't know that it was my microwave, and she was putting it in there because she didn't want to put it in the freezer or something because it does something to the food or some crap like that. I don't know. Some dumb excuse, right? And that's where I'm just like, I went to tell him, I was like, okay, well, that's fine and we don't have to have a talk, but she clearly has a problem because you don't, like, what person would you say hi? Like, if they say hi to you and they greet you, if you don't have a problem with them, you're gonna greet them back. Like, you know, we don't have to be best friends and talk every single day, but clearly you have an issue if when I speak to you, you don't want to speak to me. Like, clearly something's up. So I just didn't like that she was trying to make me look like I was freaking crazy or something, like I'm making stuff up and I'm being mad extra. So that was annoying. But honestly, that RA was a stank RA. Like, he doesn't know how to be a diplomatic, because I feel like he should have called the meeting anyway. You know, everything I'm telling you negates what she's saying. So clearly we need to meet and figure it out. But I feel like he just didn't want to do the work. So after that, we continued to not talk to each other, and she put her microwave out there to use, and she tried to be petty and unplug her microwave from me, but I plugged that shit right back in and I used it, and I was like, look, you guys disrespected my stuff, I'm not disrespecting your stuff, and if I'm out here and I want to use your microwave, I'm gonna use it, because, you know. But of course she's still on this road about not talking to me, so she didn't confront me about it, so I really didn't care. Oh, I forgot to mention, when she went to go talk to him, he said that she did mention my YouTube channel, and she specifically said that I started a YouTube channel and I left hair. And I'm just like, and mind you, I swept up the hair. If there was any hairs left, it was like the stuff that I couldn't get. And if you like work with Kanakalon, because I know what video she's talking about, if you work with Kanakalon, you know that you can sweep and sweep all day, but there's probably going to be some Kanakalon left somewhere because that stuff flies like far. So it wasn't like I purposely left a whole bunch of stuff on the floor, because I don't do that. But yeah, she specifically mentioned my YouTube channel, so I was like, okay, there it is. She's jealous of something, because she didn't have to say, like, I feel like her saying my YouTube channel specifically just showed that she was thinking about it and she was jealous about it or something, because that didn't have anything to do with our situation, but she brought it up. So yeah, that's something else that I felt like she was just jealous of, but for what reason, I don't know. Like, sis has so many clothes and so many shoes. I didn't have jack crap, but I don't know what her issue was. I don't know. I still don't know to this day. But yeah, anyway, so you know, time goes on and we're still not talking to each other. She don't say a word to me, I don't say a word to her. And she comes in one day, like, she busts in the room. And if you have me on Snapchat, you probably saw those snaps that I made, because I was like, you know, cussing her out in my head. I'm just like, here she come again. I'm trying to sleep and she come turn on the light and she was like moving her stuff. So I'm like, what is this girl doing? Like, she's doing spring cleaning or something. Excuse me, I'm sorry. She's doing spring cleaning or something. Like, what is going on? But turns out she was moving out, and I was so happy. I was like, oh, she's moving out? I was like, you want me to come help you or something? Like, I will come and get up right out this bed wake up from my sleep and help you move out because I'm tired of you. But yeah, so she moved out, and the girl next door that was her little friend, I heard her talking to her, and she's like, oh my god, you're leaving? And she's like, yeah, I'm gonna go be an RA on the 2nd floor. And she's like, you know, that no roommate life. Like, she said it so loud, and I was just like, amen, sis. That's something we can agree on, okay? Because peace. I was so happy for her to leave because I just felt I didn't even want to go live there anymore. I would like stay at my boyfriend's house most of the time because it was so awkward, and I was just like mad uncomfortable, and I just didn't feel like being in the presence of somebody who clearly didn't like me. But yeah, so that was that. She moved, and I would see her in the office a lot too, and I would say hi to her because I didn't recognize her at first. Like, I would forget that it was her, and she would be like, hi. Or like, yeah, and we'll be in the same room, and people will be like, oh my god, you're the girl who won the competition for the best hair, blah blah blah. And she'd be looking at me like, this bitch. I mean, it kind of makes sense. Like, in high school, there was girls that didn't like me for no reason. Like, it was a group of them, and they really didn't like me for no reason. Like, I don't know what I did to them. I was so nice. I would say hi to them, I would talk to them, but they didn't like me, and I really feel like it was jealousy. I don't know what they're jealous of, because I mean, I'm a regular ass person. And I feel like me saying that sounds cocky, like me saying that they were jealous. But when people don't like you and there's really no real reason, like if you didn't do anything to them, you didn't say anything mean to them, the only other reason why they wouldn't like you is because they're jealous. So that's really why I came to that deduction. Like, don't think I'm thinking I'm something to be jealous of, because I don't think so. Like, I have so many problems and so many things I want to fix and, you know, not have. So I don't know. But yeah, so that was my story time about my dutty roommate, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.